Are we live? Do we have audio? Have we got audio on my monitors? We've got audio. Okay, people are showing up. Hello. So, this is a HP something or the other monitor from, I don't know when. It was thrown out. It's in a million pieces. I think I got all of them. It was lying in a pile, or rather a puddle of water, and it's in no good shape, I don't think. It is all rusty and horrible, but I think it might be salvageable. It's also full of sanding, grain and garbage. Yuck. So I figured we'd start by just taking the paint supply out, having a look. That was just lying loosely. Also want to take the scaler out, have a look, make sure there's no ridiculous corrosion on it. I do think we actually have all the leads, which is good. We've got the link lead for the LVDS lead, and we've got the LED lead for the backlight. At least, yeah, that should be. Looks like a backlight driver tacked on there. The space bar actually looks quite a bit healthier than they usually do. Zoom. No obviously exploded caps on this. Tiny starter cap back could be bad, but generally the caps don't go bad in monitors which are this modern. People are showing up in the chat. Hello. Creepy old guy checking in to watch. Hello, creepy old guy. Live up to your name. Hello, lazy fish keeper and everyone else. So let's get this scaler out and have a look on the other side in case it's exploded. Then again, I do think they've just thrown this monitor out because it's a few years old. I would think it's like a 2012 model. Something that likes March 2012, it says on the label. So it's a bit of an oldie, but it does have VGA DVI and DisplayPort, so it'll take all the formats, which is always useful. I actually don't own a single DisplayPort monitor, so if we can get this thing working, it will have a place, especially since the little laptop I'm using to monitor, the YouTube chat only has DisplayPort 8. It doesn't even have VGA, I don't think. Hello, everyone goes. 27 people in the chat, that's excellent. So what do we have in here? That's going to be the front panel lead there. Yuck, bunch of electrolytics on there. Out you come. So how's this looking? Zoom. Ah, jeez. I need to redo this camera, mate. It doesn't have enough reach. There we go. This is looking quite clean, actually. It's all covered in like sand and dirt and rust particles, which is not good. But I'm not seeing any ICs with holes in them, which is always good. So this is not bad enough for me to want to look at before trying to power it up. My hunch is that this monitor is just going to work fine, and it's been tossed out due to age. So, since neither the power supply nor the scaler look horrible, I don't think it's going to go up in smoke if we try and actually power it on. Christ, zooming on this setup is not the easiest thing in the world. So, how bad is the panel? Oh, those rust spots are not looking good. In fact, we probably want to take the cover off of that and have a look Just make sure it's not entirely corroded on the inside, and clean it up lightly in case this all this garbage is coming off of the monitor. Someone's calling Åland reverse tax haven island. That is indeed the truth. Move here if you like paying tax. What's the chat say? Hey FF, now I get why you like to repair broken stuff. You live on an island. Yeah, that is true in part. Importing things here takes longer than it usually does, and things you buy in a brick and mortar store are more expensive than elsewhere. But the real reason I like, yeah, that's rusty and horrible. The real reason I like repairing stuff is because I've just always been doing that since I didn't have much money when I was young. So I just kind of dug through the trash all the time, and I've kept doing it because it works and I get free stuff and I can cut down my living expenses. Oh wow, this is lovely. This is absolutely gorgeous actually. This PCB was designed in 2010. Designed. Thank God. This camera mount is incredibly dodgy right now. Stay in place, please. Good enough. This actually looks quite clean on the inside. I'm just gonna give it a wipe around the edges in order to get rid of the worst of the rust and dust. Band B Games Room asks what monitor is it, and I suppose I haven't told you. It is a HP Compaq LA2306X, dating from 2012, 23-inch LCD color monitor, it says. So it's a cheapo monitor, probably TN, the kind you get with your cheap HP workstation to put in an office, use for a couple of years, then throw out when you refresh your IT fleet. So really nothing special, but it is LED backlit, so it's a shame to toss away if it can be rescued. Oh, this looks so bad. The soft machine says probably one of the 5R4GYA blown. I have no idea what that is, and if you have any insight on that, do tell me, in case this monitor actually doesn't work and we're gonna have to repair it. I haven't repaired one of these before. Again, I'm not actually thinking there's anything wrong with it, I just think it's been retired due to fleet retirement. Ugh, just you. This has been, I do believe, like an office monitor, so this is not cigarette crap or anything. It's just rust from this thing having been sitting in a dumpster for quite a while. I actually saw it a few times but ignored it because I thought it was an ancient C cold cathode lit monitor. But then I went, hang on, that's LED. And then I picked it after having seen it sit in a puddle for like weeks. But that's part of the challenge. Can't make it too easy for yourself. Ugh, so dirty. But I like dirty girls. Stop objectifying monitors. Alright, that's good enough. Band B Games Room says hello. Hello. I think I already answered your query. Why are you saying hello? Why are you saying hello again? And this hooks onto there, like so. Let's just bolt that back in place. There's almost never any issues on these top boards, even if they are subjected to moisture while the monitor is powered off. What you do tend to get is horrible connection issues in the connector. And you always, like, I actually have a bit of a policy. Whenever I connect one of these, I put an alcohol on it, because they have awful connection pressure. So even if you have a rather healthy, not liquid damaged connector like this one, they just don't make a good connection from the factory, especially if they've been inundated a couple of times. And if those connectors don't work properly, you can get all kinds of weird issues which you might not even associate with a dodgy connector to the LVDS lines. Like, it can cause entire missing image, it can cause weird distortion, it can cause... sometimes it can even cause the backlight to not work properly if you have a monitor or TV with dynamic contrast enabled. So it really is worth keeping an eye on these guys. Especially when you have a rusty piece of crap like this. So in you go, in and out a few times. Give it the old in out, in out. Is that the proper Clockwork Orange quote? I would not know. Journey Jacobs says, just replaced some burned out CCFL backlight with LEDs in an old monitor a couple of weeks ago. How on earth do you do that in any kind of economical sense? Like, just repairing bad backlights already is not very economical. And I'm getting feedback from my headphones, you can shut up. Ah, much better. Where did I put the rest of this thing? That we go. Oh, this thing is so dirty. So disgusting and dirty and... yuck. Gonna have to wipe that down because I don't want to have to constantly wipe the bench. Band B Games Room asks, why don't you make videos when you go out looking for stuff? Because that would not be appreciated by the people whose stuff I'm recycling. I have considered it, but I know that it's for the best if I don't. It would not lead to good results. Well, it would be fun to get video, just watch one of these corporate IT dumpsters in a rather wealthy area looks like, because it looks, my sources look a lot different than what most would consider dumpsters, since, well, I live in a rather rich and wealthy area. They're full of goodies, as is apparent, but getting permission for that would basically entail signing a contract and wasting their time overseeing my filming, and that would just not be worth it to them at all. And I'm already asking enough favors by maintaining my permission to just walk in and take stuff. So that's why you don't see videos of my sources. Besides, I think it's better for you guys to find your own sources and find the magic out for yourselves. Because I guarantee wherever you live, you have a company or an office complex throwing out excellent gear for you, ripe for picking. You just have to go out there, ask around and find it. And of course, be prepared to sign all kinds of waivers, accepting responsibility for eventual data you find, and waiving people of their responsibility in case you go out, grab something out of that trash, sell it to someone, and have it go on fire because you did a shit job repairing it. Because that is a huge deal, because often these things can, if a police gets involved due to some accident, and for instance, the insurance company wants to investigate into why this thing caught fire, often these things can actually reasonably be tracked to a place which has sold or repaired them. And if they've thrown it out and they've expected it to be going into the trash because they knew there was an issue with it, and suddenly it's back out on the market, and someone's gotten in trouble because of it, and bad electronics can cause incredible amount of damage if things go really wrong. They're standing to lose a lot from the minor act of letting some random person dig through their garbage. So you really need to be forward about the fact that you're accepting responsibility for anything which you bring out of that, and you need to be able to act in a way which instills confidence in whomever you're talking to. You can't just go in there, look like a lazy slob and be like, oh yeah, give me some free stuff. You need to convince them that it's a good idea to hand over responsibility to you. That is a big thing. You need to be a bit of a social engineer in order to get your hands on free stuff. But I promise it is available if you want to get it. I promise. Oh yeah, we didn't get any screws for that. I'm gonna have to get some of my own. The Cyrix guy asks, what do you think about the series of Ryzen CPU from AMD? I've never used one. The last few AMD things I've owned have been awful. But that's just anecdotal. I hope AMD are going to do good in the future. The recent Intel scandal thing probably helped them along. So hopefully we can all be going AMD yay in the next few years. Do you wear a deerstalker hat when hunting the dumpster animals? I basically look like a 70-year-old fisherman when I go out. It's horrible. I have no sense of style. Gluing the new LED strips takes some time, as does replacing the driver circuit. It takes a couple of hours, says John A. Jacob, who replaced the CCFLs in the monitor with LED strips. Yeah, I would not be putting that much time in like an old CCFL backlit monitor. To be honest, not in this market. But I have too much access to decent LED monitors anyway, so I suppose that's tainting my view of the matter. Station 240 is replying, worse still if the product has a safety recalls with instructions to throw it out. That is a very valid point, actually. A company which allows you to dig through the garbage might lose some of the control over that. So you, if you go about selling these things or using them in ignorance, could really be putting people in danger. And you do not want that. The new Ryzen APUs are cool. I'm thinking about using one in my next build. Well, do that if you want. Tell us how it works out. What are we doing? We're putting this in the frame. Craft for Cube asks, what is the stuff you're putting on those connectors? Pure isopropyl alcohol. Pure isopropyl alcohol. Alcohol. Very important substance in electronics repair. How does this go together? Have I installed this the wrong way around? No, I don't think so. I'm trying to fit the LVDS cable and it's got one of these horrible dicky connectors on the scaler side. I don't think it's in. We need the LEDs. I want to put some extra alcohol on that because these tend not to connect very well at all. Horrible contact pressure in these. And you go. Yeah. Okay. I think the panel's not cracked, even though it's obviously just been thrown into a dumpster with some force. So we could be in for a huge disappointment. Where's my power lead? Here comes my power lead. Plug it in. And we probably want a front panel so we have some buttons as well. Oh, that's also full of dust and garbage. Here you go. In there. Alright, contact. It seems to be entirely 100% dead. Entirely 100% dead. Did I remember to reconnect the power supply to the scaler? I may not have remembered to. Have I installed the front panel cable the right way around? I think so. Everything's connected up, but it's dead. Okay. Let's just give that another try for posterity, in case I didn't have a power lead in properly or something. So it's not even drawing a bunch of power at connections, so this seems to have a blown mains fuse or an open circuit primary side cap. I'm going to bet either one of those is causing issues in this monitor. Let's take it back apart and find out. So it actually might have an issue. That's good. It's just so boring when things just work out of a box. Or out of a dumpster, I should say. Power supply troubleshooting ahoy. So let's just bring in a multimeter and see if we've got any voltage across the primary side cap. So if there's the power input, and that's a rectifier, and that's going to be our main cap. We should have some voltage across that if it's charged up, and we do. We've got a lot of voltage. This thing is not drawing a bunch of any power. It's let's see, where's our secondary side? This could be secondary side, and you can't see the meter, but there's 0 across there. Where else? That's a cap. Absolutely 0. So we do not have a blown mains fuse because we've got voltage across the primary side cap. We've got something wrong on the primary side switching, I would wager. Okay, let's bring in the high voltage, well, medium voltage, low voltage power supply. The TTI EX752M can supply us with 150 volts mains isolated DC to power this thing without having to risk our life having this thing running at mains voltage. I'm just getting connected up, and I'm going to shove these leads into a power connector, and 2 amps current limit. Let's turn it on, see what we get. It's drawing nothing at all. It's less than 10 milliamps. And we've probably got about 150 volts in the mains cap. Yeah. And I'm going to bet we have 0 in the secondary side cap. Oh no. It's jumping around to about half a volt on that one. What do we get on these ones for backlight? Same thing. What do we get on our opto-coupler? That's going to be the input side of our opto-coupler. There's nothing there. Do we have anything of a bar graph? No. So we do have some activity. It's not making ticking noises. This is intriguing. Journey Jacob suggests dead primary IC power supply cap. That is a possibility. That usually gives you nothing at all on the secondary side, but we are going to bring out the ESR meter to check that out, because I don't trust it. It's a cheapo small cap, and this monitor is 6 years old. So we very well could have a couple of bad caps. They don't look bad, but they could be bad anyway. So let's start with that, and let's discharge the big primary side cap, because that's going to be sitting at 150 volts until the cows come home. So sparkety. There we go. Discharged. So that cap in particular I want to check out, and I also want to check the solder joints for this riser board, but they still look pretty okay. Well, yeah, I'm going to bring out the ESR meter, and I don't have a screen cap, so you're not going to see it, I'm afraid. Rather, I do have a broken screen cap which I haven't bothered setting up properly, and I'm not going to try and do that live, because I am not having enough faith in OBS Studio to do that. Zero my probes. Click 0 and ESR / capacitance. What do we get in this little guy? Oh, it's supposed to be 10 microfarads, 50 volts. It's 10 microfarads, 1 ohm ESR. This is a perfect cap. This guy is not our issue. Could actually have, if this guy's got too much of an ESR, it could be dead. It's probably like 450, 68 microfarads or 100. Let's give it a poke. 93 microfarads, 700 milliohms. That's fine. Band Games B Room suggest have you checked the fuse in the PSU. We know the primary side fuse is okay. It's that. Oh god, I've got everything tabbed down. I don't have my monitoring. Monitoring, please. Monitoring. There we go. We know the primary side mains cap is fine because it's here. We're getting a voltage across this guy. This fuse goes straight to a pin of a power plug. So if this guy was blown, we would be getting nothing on here. Nothing at all. Or we would be getting a very low voltage if it was kind of bad. Someone suggests the Opto-coupler. I don't think so, unless it's shorted, because we saw nothing of the input, and generally Opto-couplers don't easily fail. I'm going to actually measure a bunch of these caps, because I don't quite trust them. I've seen, well, we have some low voltage, high voltage ones there. For the rest, high voltage. Yeah, the rest are actually 25 volts ones, but they're worth checking out. It is kind of acting bad cappy, since high ESR makes the voltage spike up very quickly, but we've got 49 milliohms ESR on those. That's fine. This guy, probably the same rail. Same rail, yeah, that's measuring perfect, 60 milliohms. And these guys for a backlight driver, these should not even be getting powered. Maybe there was some voltage on these. It's measuring a resistance across those. Do we have a shorted LED driver? What's the resistance across... Oh god. Okay, that's not going to work at all. What's the resistance across this guy? Hello? That looks to me like a very, very shorted LED driver. No wonder we're not getting any voltage. I think it's LED driver because these are 35 volt caps close to the LED driver. So either the LED driver is shorted, or the caps are shorted, or these diodes are shorted. So let's start with a diode, relatively common issue. There's a dead short across that guy, and this guy's going to be in parallel. I'm going to bet one of these guys is done for, and I've forgotten to turn on the desoldering pump. Let's use the time we're waiting for the desoldering pump to heat up to try and set up a screen capture. I can also see this choke here has been running a bit warm because we've got discoloration of the PCB. That's the LED switching choke, pretty normal for those to run hot. I've seen these run so hot that they've burned a hole in the PCB. Probably worth checking these caps out as well, but let's see if I can get a screen cap working with audio. So just give me a second and we'll see. I have some attempt of screen capture. Do we have audio? I think we have audio still, but we have no screen capture, so we'll add a window capture. We'll call it ESR. Let's see if it's gonna... Hey, it went straight to the right window. Good. Isn't that fancy? Maybe I can even add my logo. Let's see. Text, existing logo. Okay, look at that, aren't we professional? So this is my ESR meter. It's very simple. Just shows ESR and capacitance. Useful. It also does milliohms. So we're going to measure milliohms across both the capacitor and the diode. And if we have a lower resistance across either of those, that's going to be closer to the short. So where are we? Where on earth are we? Right, so these are the diodes which measured short. What do those look like? That is a very, very low resistance. 134 milliohms across that one. Perhaps we can see a difference between them. Not really. This one's measuring. No, it's don't even noise. So let's measure across the capacitor, and we have a higher resistance there, 180 or so. So we know that the diodes are closer to the short. So now we just follow the tracks. Where are these really going? I want to see where the lowest resistance point is, if we can get lower than we get across the diodes. So between there's 180-ish. If we move to the diode, just slightly lower. If we move to there, just slightly lower again. I wonder where these tracks actually connect. It's going through the transformer. So that's going to be very low, so we're even closer. This is probably going to be, 10 ohms. That's going to be a 10 ohm resistor there then. Everything's really pointing to the diodes, because we've got to here's the diodes plus the transformer. The transformer seems to have a winding resistance of about 10 milliamps DC. So desoldering pump should be warmed up, and we should be able to verify our problem. Place your bets. Where's my solder? Like tester asks, what is the problem? It's a dead LCD monitor, and there seems to be a short on one of the rails. There's a rectifier diodes for that power rail, and they seem to be shorted. And we're about to find out if they are. Let's just do them one at a time. So, did the short go away? No, it's still there. So let's check the other diode. Come on, melt for solder. Band B Games Room asks, what soldering iron do you use? I use an 2901 for my main soldering iron. I thoroughly recommend it. They are not bad at all. This is an A747 Plus, I think. Int 474 A++ desoldering pump. And it's okay. It's pretty Chinesey, pretty cheap, but okay for light duty use. Did the short go away? And the short has gone away, I do believe. So this ought to be our culprit. Let's just confirm that. Bingo. Shorted diode. So this issue is very common in the kinds of TVs and monitors where they just shove two of these old 2-liter diodes in parallel. Like, one of them is always going to be working considerably harder than the other, and it shorts out. So I'm going to have to dig out a replacement for that, and we'll be good to go. I think I'm just going to install a TO220 instead of one of these. But let's check the chat out in the meantime. I am going to be so behind. Thank you. One more question. What model of multimeter or device are you using right now? I can see it's able to connect with PC. It's a secret ESR meter, only one in existence, and I can't share the schematic. Sorry. How do you manage to pick up such precious garbage from trash? When I go trash hunting, all I find is trash. Find better sources of trash. I explained some of it early in this stream. I'd bet Louis Rossmann would pay money for that meter. I don't think so. It's just a millio meter and ESR meter. You can get those already if you pay enough money. The only difference is mine is cheaper and DIY and closed source for the time being. 100th viewer. Oh yeah, we've got 108 viewers. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna go too far back in chat. I'm gonna be here all night. Do you still have that Asus Core i5 laptop you found that was DOA? Yeah, I still have that. It's my HTPC for the time being. It blew the like backlight driver after a week of use because it's a piece of trash. So since then it just serves me with Doctor Who and silly YouTube videos on my TV. And it does a decent job. It also acts as a server when I'm out vanning. And right now I am off camera digging through the trash because I know I have a heatsink full of, I believe, diodes somewhere around here. Aha, there we go. I think most of these are diodes. I'm actually not at all sure. This comes out of that 900 watt PSU we've failed to fix. Let's see, this is an SDPS30L40CT. Gonna check the datasheet for that real quick. And if it's like a 10-15 amp, at least diode 40 volt rated, then it's gonna be fine. STPS30L40CT. Can we do another screen capture? Oh no, maybe we can actually do... Well, let's be fast. Let's see if we can add like a display capture for this display. There we go. Now you can see all my porn. I'm not scaling this at all, so you'll have to make do. It's a rather high-res screen. Let's get DigiKey, see if I've got a datasheet for this thing. 40 volts, 15 amps. Yeah, this is good enough. I think it's going into 35 volt caps. So I would wager it's going to be good enough. Let's just check the datasheet for the old diode as well. And the old diode is an SRS 5206. Let's check that out. SRS 52, well, that's excellent. PDF. Diode. Work with me, DuckDuckGo. Thank you. What magic do you hold? Yeah. What are you? 506, 60 volts. Huh. That's going to be a reason they've used such a high voltage diode. Perhaps the one we're looking at might not be so suitable after all. 60 volts. Then again, it's going to be a 24 volt supply. At absolute worst, we're going to see like twice that, so we are possibly going to be seeing spikes up to about 50 volts. So a 40 volt diode is stretching it a bit. I must admit, it's not really good practice to put that in there. I think we might have a higher voltage diode here as well. So let's just search for this and see. That would be an STP. Oh God, it's unreadable. We've got an STPS, of course. STPS. Wow, this is impossible to read. Six, one. Oh God, this is awful. 61L60CT. L60CT. What's that? Click. Someone asked what web browser it is. This is Pale Moon. It's like old Firefox. It's not very good for everyday use. I just use it because I'm a hipster. And with this diode, 2 times 30 amps, 60 volt rated. This is going to be fine for our purposes. Anodes in the outer edges, cathode in the middle leg. This is fine. We're using this back to our normal scheduled programming if I can find OBS. You go away. And let's go back to that. There we go. So, what's the chat got to say? More people are asking, does anyone know the model of the ESR meter? It doesn't have a model number, it's proprietary, and there's only a couple of them built. I cannot share the schematic, I'm sorry. Does that meter measure voltage, or is it just an ESR meter? It only does resistance and ESR and capacitance. And I'm not going to read up further in the chat on that. Okay, let's get, which one do we want? This is the diode we want. Let's dismount that. TO220 diodes are generally much better than the standalone ones. They just, like, TO220s, I've almost never seen them fail, whereas for devices where they put the old style diodes tend to fail all the time. So how much I don't think we have enough clearance on the back side of this to actually mount it like so, because that would be excellent. Or do we? Let's see if we can squeeze that in there. But I don't think so. I think it's going to be pushing up against the panel. like... it's just about... that's a tight squeeze. It could potentially work. But it would probably be kind of pressing up against the panel. But then again, who cares? It's just going to be a plastic case. Do you recommend any good ESR meters? No, I only have the one I use, which is excellent, and I can't share the schematic for. So I'm sorry I don't have any decent recommendations. I need pliers. Where are my pliers? My pliers have disappeared. So we're going to be using the trashy pliers. I don't need a ferrite bead on that. So I'm just going to mount this like so. Because it's just easiest. I'm going to snip the middle leg and solder it in. Because I think we've got enough space. This is quality. Quality like you've never seen before. And we don't need extra solder. Go away. Let's give you some zoom if I can manage to find the right button. There we go. Step down the exposure slightly. There we go. A feast for the ears. Did I just kill everybody? Sorry. I can't monitor my audio live since there's a delay, and that would just prevent me from speaking at all. So we'll put that there, and in fact we'll just poke these legs into the holes, like so. That's excellent. There we go. That's a decent mount, I do think. And I'm going to have to use a bigger tip than that, because we are going to be heating the whole diode and a bunch of copper with it. So let's get all our favorite 50mm tip in there. Cue incessant soldering station beeping. I need to order more tips. That's what amazes me with this OU tip. Like, even though this is a tip in, like, heater in tip station, I've never replaced this tip. Like, this tip is probably 5 years old, and it's the only one of these I have ever purchased. I am utterly amazed by that. Because I was expecting, since this is a cheap, crappy soldering iron, to replace these tips all the time, but it's just never ever given me a reason to. So I'm going to shill for OU, because I've just had very good experiences with them. And the bad thing about the 2900 series is the handles are kind of dicky. So they tend to kind of glitch in the connections to the tip, making them beep incessantly, like mine does all the time. KT132 asks, this is the diode, right? Yeah, this is, like, we're replacing both of the failed diodes with this double diode. There we go, that's on there quite well. Let's get rid of that ball of solder, we'll just blob it on there. Jeez, that's a mess. Okay, I think this power supply is now going to work. Journey Jacob asks, what's the tip model number? I don't know, it's the 5mm wide one. So this is already in there the right way around. This is not on fire. Band B Games Room says, wait, aren't you technically just shorting the two legs of that diode? No, because, let's zoom back in. The way these diodes work is you have two diodes in this package, and these pins are the anodes, and the tab and the middle leg are the cathode. So we now have two parallel diodes going to here. We've got exactly the same circuit as we had before, except it's in a neater package, mounted entirely wrong. And it's hopefully not going to get entirely crushed up against the panel. So let's just get like a single screw in there and give it 150 volts out of the DC power supply. Yeah, I think I might even have the webcam running. Do I have a webcam running? I don't have a webcam running. Can we get the webcam running? Let's see if we can get the webcam running, because then you guys can watch the power supply live. Come on, you can do it. Uh-oh. Okay, we're not getting... Oh god, have I killed everything? We're not getting the webcam running. That just made OBS Studio go horribly wrong. Please God, tell me I didn't break everything. Anyway, we're going to be putting some power in this. So I'm just hooking my lab power supply up to the power connector, and it's already turned to 150 volts DC. And if everything works, we should be getting a voltage on this capacitor as well as this capacitor over here, I think. So let's just pre-probe that. Boink. And turn it on. 15 volts. That is a lot better than we saw before, and it's not drawing any current. What do we have over here? 1 volt. That doesn't look right. Do we have issues? This is going to be a main rectifier cap. 4.75. I think this is fine now. I think this is going to power on. I think this is going to power on just fine, with no issues whatsoever. So let's get the panel back on there, and the control panel, and see if it has anything to tell us. Someone says, that feeling when the meter refreshes and displays the correct voltage. We don't know if we're supposed to have 15 volts there. I was expecting a 24 volt supply. So we could still be having issues. And the 5 volt was also kind of low. I was expecting, they're usually more like 5.1. And if I go under 5, I'm suspicious. But it could just be happenstance. This could just happen to be tuned for a somewhat lower voltage than general. I have no idea what the spec for this power supply is. I'm just here to fix it. So LED driver connector. These are so horrible, dicky wires, I don't like them. Then I don't like the CCFL connectors either, so that's never been a good connector for LCD backlights, I suppose. Front panel. Band B Games Room asks, FF Cossack, where are you from? I am from Finland, the land of Santa Claus, where we don't get any winters anymore because of global warming. Thank you, humanity. Okay, power LED is there, let's turn on the power. It's blue. Oh, that's interesting. Well, at least it's running. Anyone with epilepsy should probably look away. So this could just be bad LVDS connector. Let's give it a poke. Yeah, it's responding to when I'm poking about the LVDS connector, so I'm just going to clean that up a bit better. How do we go? I have to undo the bloody backlight connector again. Yuck. So let's check this cable out a bit more closely. So I'm not sure in which end the issue actually is. Let's just... Oh, these are annoying to clean. We need a bit of paper and a bunch of isopropyl alcohol. We'll just fold this up into a reasonably thick chunk. And where's my isopropyl? Where's my booze? There's my booze. Again, alcohol. No oil, no nothing. And pure alcohol. There we go. Let's stick the paper in there and give it a good rub. Only in and out, no sideways action, or you're going to be destroying the pins. And I folded this way too thick. There we go. I'm just very gently moving it from side to side and pulling it in and out and in and out. Just to kind of try and push any dirt off of a connector. Let's also check the connector side 8. Could be that this has just been full of water and it's entirely corroded on the inside, but we'll just put some more alcohol on it and hope that it works. We'll give it another go anyway. Oh, I can see that this connector is actually kind of mongered. It's been violenced apart, so we're gonna have, that's probably our issue, we're gonna have to kind of push it down in the middle. That could be what our issue was. I'm somewhat confident that it's gonna work now. It could also be that I've connected it wrong in this part because I wasn't seeing what I was doing. But let's just fold it down, give it another go. Get this horrid LED connector back in. Ugh. I hate these. Chat says, could you help me with my display perhaps? The issue is the right side of the screen has turned lightly pink and the display has a kind of memory effect. It's an LCD display. If it's turning pink, it's probably CCFL based and the tubes are failing, but the memory effect has nothing to do with that. That's pretty much all I can tell you from that description. So we're still connected to the power supply. Let's turn this on, see what it says. And it's still a bit interesting. This is not a happy camper. It's squealing. I think there's squealing coming from the driver PCB in the panel actually. Yeah, that is. Now the question is, does it have bad supply voltage, or is it just been so full of water that it's failed? I'm gonna measure the voltage on a 5-volt rail, if I can manage. Yeah, 5 volts is fine. 5 volts probably fine on the, what's that on that random capacitor on the scaler? Nothing. What's on that random cap? Yeah, 5 volts. Turned off when it's standby. So I think we've got an issue. The panel might have been too water damaged to be salvageable. Someone says, my HP monitor does this with no signal connected, but when there is, it works fine. Okay, well, let's just try it with some signal then, in case it's just such an issue. So, I will, do we have VGA on this? Yeah, we do, so I'll just steal the VGA from my chat monitoring monitor. And we will feed VGA into this guy. See what happens. Power on. That's not looking good. That's not looking good at all. Yeah. I'm pretty certain it's not supposed to be doing that. There's a change of this bend and squeeze of this thing. Yeah. Changes with bending, so it could just be full of crap. Yeah, I want to take the display panel board out again and give it a check. That is a really nice visual effect though. That is a nice visual effect. I could watch that all day. So Vaporwave. So Vaporwave. Seems to be getting kind of better as it's warming up. I want to take like a high-res picture of this, just as a bit of a memory. Bring over DSLR. Focus. Let's drive mode. Drive mode. High speed continues. And that's going to make a nice GIF. Let's get back to business. Let's get back to business. And let's get my comment monitor back. Select tester asks, is this a Weha screwdriver on the board? On the board? This is a Wera screwdriver. I think Weha is like a Wera clone. Right. LED connector out again. Yuck. So, John A. Jacob says, sell it on eBay as a Vaporwave monitor. Indeed. I could probably make more money selling this as a piece of artwork than as a monitor. I really do like the look, but sadly I don't think it's going to last. I think it's just going to die in a while. It would be kind of pointless. Oh, we're overexposed. There we go. You're watching my crotch. And I need to fix this camera mount. It's not very good. That's the tripod screw turning and my camera almost falling off. Logan Dorsey asks, where do you live? I live on the Åland Islands in Finland. Weha is not a clone, it's just a different brand. Okay. I recall there being some Chinese company making screwdrivers looking like Wera, and they were called something similar to Weha. So this is taped in. It's not taped in there, it's not taped in there, it's just taped in around the connector, I think. Ugh. These are super thin PCBs, I hate getting them off. Well, this is way cleaner than I was expecting it to be. It's looking absolutely fine. Are you using a Bryman B869 or something? I'm using a Bryman BM869. A Bryman BM869 multimeter. I have like a clamp meter from the same series. They're decent. Okay, well, would you like a CB radio? I have no use for a CB radio, but thanks for asking. Try opening up the panel and putting pressure on the flat flex cables at top. I don't think that's the issue, because when the flat flexes go bad, you usually see very localized stripes. You see issues in that part of the screen or that part of the screen, or you have consistent horizontal lines all over. Really don't think it's an issue with those. It could be that we have water ingress in the actual panel, because this is an active matrix, it's full of electronics and transistors and stuff that could be causing issues. But I'm really kind of skeptical of this connector, because it just looks all horribly corroded. It is all horribly corroded. That's not so bad. That's just one corner. What does it look like on the inside? Yeah, it's pretty clean on the inside. That's annoying. There are no obvious issues. No obvious points of corrosion. Someone asks what capture card I use. I'm not telling you because I would not wish it upon my worst enemy. If you're going to buy a capture card, buy anything but the one I use. The current startup procedure for my stream is start up OBS, turn on the camera, connect the camera to the computer, and then disconnect the camera and connect it again. Else it doesn't work. And sometimes it crashes, and it makes the entire computer unstable. So I cannot use it for anything important at all. I'm trying to find corrosion, but I am not finding corrosion. That's making me a bit sad. That is making me a bit sad. Seems right, a battery. Gonna change this real quick. Okay, now we've got battery. Thank you for pointing that out. I have very little feedback on this since I can't actually see the receiver while I'm keeping the camera mounted above a bench. I have the joys of being a one-man show. Where were we? We were getting the water out of the panel. We are getting the water out of a panel. Oh God, how much? For how long did we not have audio? I hope it wasn't too long. I wish someone would wish to come and, like, be my cameraman for free. That would make everything so much easier. Hey, I've been entirely scratching this thing up by having it face down on a dirty bench. Oh, this is an annoying mount. Come on. Out you come. Out you come. So, to reiterate, in case all of it got lost during the audio outage, this panel is full of water, and we're just getting the water out of it. And hopefully it hasn't been ruined, but there's a decent chance it actually has been entirely ruined, since we applied power while it was full of water. This thing is not coming apart very nicely at all. It's not cooperating in the slightest. Come on. Well, that's better. Ugh. It's pretty much impossible to do this in frame. I'm sorry. I think this is coming. Yep. Oh, listen to that sound of dirt and grime coming out of this monitor. Where's the water? I am quite sure I saw, yeah, there's plenty of water just around here. Plenty. Let's just wipe that out. Well, am I being misled? I could have seen wrong actually, because I'm not seeing any water now. I think I've been lying. Yeah, I've been lying. This isn't full of water. That came out dry. Well, that was a red herring. Well, let's just wipe this down while we're inside. Band B James Room asks, do you want an old Alienware M5500 R3 laptop? You're probably better off selling that. I've got enough old junk. I don't know how old that thing is, but if you look around my workshop, I've got plenty of computers as it is, but thanks for the offer. Someone says, put in the oven 50-60 degrees 1 to 2 hours with air circulation. Yeah, that could work. But for the time being, I'm actually not sure if we've even got any water in here. I want to get the panel out and have a look if it wants to come nicely, but I think this might not want to come nicely. There we go. Yeah, there's been no water ingress. None whatsoever. So at worst we've had water ingress along the edges. But if we have a close look... oh god, this mount. Well, you're going to have to take my word for it. There's a line of water just around there, which is making me suspect that some of it might have gotten inside the LCD. So the best we really can do is just clean around the edge and hope for the best. But I think, sadly, perhaps this thing might be dead. Dead beyond saving. Alphonse Jean says, yeah, I'm not late. Indeed you're not, we haven't fixed this one yet. So, I really want to see if I've got another panel to try this with. Because I'm actually, for the time being, I'm not sure if the issue is the panel or the scaler. Let's see if we've got anything. I've got a million assembled monitors, but nothing in pieces. That's a shame. For the longest time I had one of these panels lying around, but I think I used it for something. That's confusing. I was so certain I saw water in here, but there is no water in here at all. None. No water. So let's just get this thing back together. It is full of dirt though. Yuck. Dirt everywhere. And corrosion. Yuck. If I had picked this thing out of the trash, like when I first saw it, it would probably have worked the first time around. So shame on me for not doing that. Shame on me. It might have cost me a decent little monitor. Diffia Pillai says, why don't you try connecting again and tweaking the wires a bit? We tweaked the wires plenty before and it made little difference. What made a difference was bending the entire panel. Have you tried inspecting the LVDS connector contacts? Yes, I have. But I want to check the scaler out because I didn't properly clean the connector in the scaler end. It could be having a dicky connection there, which is causing symptoms in the panel side. But since this cover looks like this, I'm really leaning towards failed panel, sadly. And not much to do about that if that's the case. But we'll take the scaler out once again and have a closer look at pretty much everything. There's my small screwdriver. Where are the screws? There are the screws for the metal cover. We also need to put the screws for the frame back. Band B Games Room says, isn't that a 1080p panel? Yeah, it's going to be a 1080p panel. Do you have a spared LVDS cable? Not one which fits this thing out of the box. The fluid you use for cleaning LVDS connector, is it conductive? No, it isn't. It's pure isopropyl alcohol, which is not conductive. See, isopropyl alcohol, the thing about it, any question you ask, which can be rephrased as, is isopropyl alcohol good for electronics? Then the answer is yes. Someone asks, try to replace the panel. I don't have a spare panel fitting this particular monitor. Well, I do, but it's already in a working monitor and I'm not taking that out just for an experiment. God. Using the wrong screwdriver and stubbornly rejecting the urge to change to the right one. The good thing about failed PC monitors is you can just rip the panel out and reuse them as studio lighting, which is what I'm going to do when I move studios to a better location. I'm going to have so many old PC monitors and so many old broken LED TVs. Let's get the scaler out and have another look. It does look kind of moist and horrible. Someone asks, where do you buy your isopropyl alcohol? Whenever TME feels like shipping it, tme.eu. They have like 5-litre jugs. They're like €30. Alright, come out. So what's this look like? This still looks clean, but it is covered in like dirt and grime, so let's just wash that down a bit. Again, I think this thing is dead. I think it's a lost cause. What about the portable speaker you were working on? That's like been sitting on the shelf since forever. I've just not felt a need to finish it. It's one of those long-term projects that I just come back to every few months, do some work, then go back to ignoring it. Perhaps one day. Perhaps one day. I have a broken 42-inch LED TV. How could I go about turning it into studio light? You take the panel off, or rather well, if it's broken to a point of not turning on, then you need to fix it first, of course. But once you've got that down, you just take the panel off, turn the brightness to max, and then you're done. Do you want my TV radio combo? That sounds like a piece of trash, so no. Let's also clean this thing in case it's a bit dodgy. There we go. Come on. I saw a lot of new amp boards on AliExpress that had audio grade caps. Does that make a difference? Generally no. As long as you have film caps in your signal chain, you're fine. The caps they use on the Class D amplifiers tend to be so wrong by design that they're beyond saving, basically. Oh, hang on. Hang on. I think I've found our problem. I have found our problem. It's in this guy. Let's have a closer look. Let's zoom right in and not create a focus. See that in that corner? Those are a bunch of broken leads. So we're missing a few data lines. That's gonna be our problem. So how on earth do we get those back together? I think there's the kind of cable you can kind of disassemble, so we might actually have a chance. I think these can kind of come apart like a normal flat flex connector. Yep, this is coming apart. Come on. Ugh. These are my trash tweezers. They're not very good. Come on. Come apart. Do you want a vintage General Electric transistor radio to repair? Generally, I don't want more things to repair because I've got plenty already. The things I generally accept as donations are like modern computer gear for like the render server and the streaming computers, because that stuff's expensive. I got enough old crap as it is. So that's that apart. this can feasibly be repaired. Let's get rid of a monitor. I'm doing a very good job at getting rid of that. Right. Let's see what we can do. We're going to want a small soldering iron tip. Where's my soldering iron tip puller? My soldering iron rubber. Oh, I'm so bad at misplacing that. Where is it? There it is. Beep, 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 beep. Right, so I want a third hand. This would be so much easier to do under a microscope. But alas, I can't afford to have a microscope for home. I don't do enough microsurgery here. So we definitely want to mount this on there. Actually, I want to scratch some stuff off, and I need a knife for that, and I need to fetch that from the other room. And to get to the other room, I need to clear all my trash PCBs out of the way. Back in the pile you go. Alright. Let's clean this up. And try not to block the camera completely. The point of this is trying to get this into a solderable state so I can just blob some solder across. And hopefully make this great again. I wish I had a microscope. I so wish I had a microscope. Whereas was it I'm used to working under a microscope at work for shit like this. So this is quite the downgrade. Where's my magnifying glass? If anyone wants to donate an Amscope, please do. Send me an email at ffkosag@gmail.com. I will happily accept any $1,000 microscope. So how's this look? Oh, it looks horrid. God, this is bad. My scratching is awful. Nice close-up of the hair on your head, lol. Yeah. That's what you get when you're watching high-quality content from competent producers on the internet. Working with state-of-the-art equipment to produce staggering results. I think this is going to be somewhat decent now. Oh God, this is so horrible. The Kung Fu Robber donated £2 and said, "Get yourself a beer. Thank you very much." If it wasn't Sunday, I would take a swig of vodka to that, but I don't feel like drinking tonight. Come on. Just cut off the end by 3mm. That's what I'm going to do if this fails horribly, but I'd rather keep the thick gold plating, because it's going to make a much better connection. Scratching this is no fun. Or scratching this is a lot of fun if you've got a microscope. It's not a lot of fun if you're just squeezing it up to your face and probably showing your hair on camera. And having people comment about like that white skinny stuff that falls off of it. Alphonse Jane says, I will happily donate a mantis. Go right ahead. I'm not going to complain. I've actually used a mantis at one of my jobs. I wasn't too impressed. Like, I did not see the point of a mantis over a normal microscope. It had some extra comfort, I guess. But for money, not really worth it. There we go, I think that might be decent. No fume extractors, no microscope. What are we, professional? Yeah. That's the thing, if you have a microscope you really need a fume extractor as well, because all the smoke just rises straight to your face. So what I'm going to try and do is just try and blob a shit ton of solder on there and step down the exposure slightly. Let's see if we can make this happen. I'm probably not going to be able to help getting my hair in the way, unless I like do some horrible thing like that. That might work. Now let's also just flood this with flux. Oh, dick. There we go. The trick is going to be to try and actually get these one at a time without melting the rest. And without melting the plastic on the wire. Where's my soldering station water? How on earth have I lost? That's my soldering station water. Put some tape on this top to cover the gold on the contacts. I'm not sure that would work too well. Because when the solder starts to flow, it's just going to flow underneath the tape. Adhesive Pillai asks, hey, what about that industrial touchscreen PC that you had trash picks? Where have you installed it? I haven't installed it. If everything works out, I'm going to be moving the workshop and the streaming shop and everything video related to a much nicer location quite soon. So I'm just not going to try and install that PC until I know that I'm not going to install it here. Or rather, until I know that there's been an issue with a new place, and I'm not going to be able to. go there. I'm not going to install it. That's one pin. Need to shut up for this. Requires focus. That's 2 pins bridged together. That's another connected. Clean the iron. Ah, dick. The gold contact just fell off. And it's now on my soldering iron. That went well. We can still save this. We can still save this. This is going to prove to be just me being pointlessly stubborn. This might not be salvageable. I'll give it a go. I wish I had a microscope. That would make everything so much easier. Oh, fuck's sake. Come on. I want to wipe the solder off of you. It doesn't really matter if one of these is covered in solder. I think it's going to work fine anyway. I think this might be decent as long as I can manage to get it to stay in one place for long enough to actually solder it. We're going to be golden. Get it? Golden? Because the gold has fallen off. I hope you guys are seeing something. Oh, you are seeing something. That's good. That is good. Come on, baby. Fuck. I just picked another one off. This is not going well. Where did that one even go? Did it just manage to completely lose one of the gold paddy things? Yeah, I've completely lost one of the gold paddy things. Is it just stuck on there? No. Yeah, this is a lost cause. We're just going to end up... We're going to strip the cable. What a shame. What a shame. If I had a microscope, that would have gone so much better. I've done repairs like this many times in the past, but I've had a microscope doing it. So it wasn't an entirely lost cause, but since I don't have a microscope, it's a bit difficult to pull off. But we're just gonna strip it, cut it, strip it. We're gonna be fine. If I can find my scissors. If I can find my scissors. Where are my scissors? Man, my scissors are missing. I used to have a colourful pair of scissors, but I've put them somewhere else, and now I've only got a metal coloured set of scissors, which keep disappearing because these are invisible. So I'll just snip this. In fact, let's poke this off. Alex Dobrov donated 77.77 rubles from Russia with love. Thank you very much, Alex. I'm glad to have Russian viewers. If they give me money. Ugh. Come on, off you come. There we go. Cut it, strip it, we're fine. That could be used in other circumstances. Snip. So now we just want to peel this label off and yuck. That's not coming off nicely. If the cable plugs in both ends, could you just plug the good part and permanently solder in the broken connections with Kynar? I have no idea what Kynar is. Could feasibly solder this in, perhaps, but I'd rather not. It's just nicer having a cable to disconnect. Then again, I suppose you don't disconnect your display all that often. But trying to solder this in would be just a major pain. It would cause more trouble than it's worth. Kynar is like really fine wire. Oh, right. Yeah, that would not happen. That would take about 1 year. This monitor is not worth that much time at all. It's already full of rust, rot and water. There we go. Perhaps we can just use the scissors too. I know, let's be a bit better and like use a razor. I should have razor blades somewhere around here, but I have no idea as to where. Oh. Would you believe it? They're exactly where they're supposed to be. That never happens. I'm gonna fetch myself some more water, back in a sec. Then again, I have a wireless microphone, so I don't even need to leave you. Max User 1K says sandpaper works well for stripping that. I can imagine it does. I want to use my razor though, because I want the nice sharp edge. This is obviously used. Let's not use that. Ugh, these are full of oil. Yuck. So, Methy. Let's not make it all messy with blood as well. That would be a bit pointless. Spam sandpaper, so he uses it. No, I'm going to try with this first. This is what I usually use. Except at work I have one which is properly cut to length. Because you get a very nice sharp edge. I need to cut this like so. Oh, that's tough. Okay. I guess we're just... Man, this is just going to scratch up my desk. Fine, I'm using sandpaper. Because I can't... Oh no, okay, find my pliers. There we go, that's better. So we need, how many sections? 3 sections. Oh, fuck's sake! This is a very hard blade. Ouch, there we go. Phew, that came very close to cutting myself. No, YouTube chat, you don't win. I managed to cut my blade. Scratchy, scratchy, scratch. This is hard work. Isn't there a notch in your Stanley knife housing to split the blades? I don't know. I know nothing about these. Ugh. This is hard work. In part because I don't want to scratch my desk up, so let's just get something a bit harder. We've got wood. Oh no, have I ruined everything again? No, not yet. There we go. Get the technique down. I'm thinking perhaps sandpaper would be a better option actually. Because this is taking forever. Okay, fine. I give in. We'll do sandpaper. Let's see if I have any decent grit. 1200, that's probably a bit too fine. 180, that could work. The dirtiest 180 in the world. How is this going to work? Not very well. Not very well at all, actually. That's not even making a mark. I do believe the knife was faster than that. I do believe the knife was faster than that. So we're going back to the knife. Sorry. Scratch. Scratch, 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 scratch. The question is it faster to do like 1 lead at a time or the whole wire in one go? I think 1 lead at a time, yeah. This is getting pretty fast. Wrist killing work though. I can't even read chat because I need to keep an eye on what I'm doing. My wrists are dying. Let's give you guys a slightly better view. There you go. Use a flamethrower. Perhaps we'll end up doing that if this doesn't work. Or if I manage to ruin everything after I've done like 90% of the scratching. That would be a bit annoying. And then this would probably go on fire due to overcurrent situations. It's odd how many things end up with high current situations when they upset me. This is painful. This is the kind of work which should be reserved for the third world. Workout sessions with FF Cossack. Yes, we work out our thumb and index finger. The world's least effective weight loss program. But at least the ladies love it. If you catch my drift. I keep ruining the wire by bending it in the wrong end. Three more to go. How's that? Let's have a closer look. Ah, my hand is dead. I need to clean a couple of them up. Just a couple. Just a couple. Like that one. Because there's just a bit of plastic left. Any more? Let's get this light right. That one needs a bit more work. Just a tad. And the one right at the end. Okay, I think that's fine. What a bother. Let's just... this is not gluing back on at all, so we're just going to have to use tape to thicken this up in order to make it actually fit the connector again. Plot twist, the cables are broken inside the flat flash, says someone in chat. Perhaps. Are we going to use Kapton tape or are we going to use packing tape? I think the packing tape is easier to handle. I have no idea what kind of tape this is, but it is the best tape I have ever used in my entire life. I think it's like the papery box tape you see sometimes on packaging. It is incredibly durable, very long lasting. Rip. Why you guys underexposed? I think you are underexposed. And this is, yeah, let's just gob it on there and clean it up with the scissors. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just gotta have a somewhat steady hand. There we go. A bit more zoom maybe. Ugh. Now this image is looking really weird on my monitor. I hope the image is coming through okay in your end. There we go. Gonna do like another layer of that and I think we're fine. This time we can actually get it properly aligned from the get-go. Yeah, like so. That's decent. That's decent. This is some precision scissoring, said the lesbian. Eh? My dirty jokes are the lamest ever conceived. Okay, I think that's good. Let's get rid of the wood. Let's get rid of the garbage. Let's get rid of the razors because we're not gonna need them yet. We haven't seen it fail. Ugh, so much clutter. So much clutter. Wooks 2K says, I need to go to work in 5 hours and I still haven't gone to sleep. Damn you for making the stream interesting. No, it's your fault for finding this kind of garbage interesting. That is on you. I will not accept agency for your poor taste. Ugh, so much. There's just so much dirt coming off of this monitor. It's silly. I need to put this razor with the other razors, else it's going to kill somebody. And that somebody being me. This one's going in the soldering station brass wig thing because I keep those there. Ugh. I have no idea what all these black dots are. They're really annoying. Where did my flatplex go? There's my flatplex. So let's just install this. It goes in. Is there a difference which way around this goes? No, it seems symmetrical. So that goes in there. And this goes which way around? I think this way around. Let's see if it works. Or if we need more tape. There's some friction. Yeah. That seems okay. I think this could work. Need to probably want to undo this mid-tape thing to make it a bit more stretchable. Very carefully now, we have a lot of time invested in this. There we go, some extra flexibility. What's that? Oh, that's the garbage with the broken gold pieces. Into the trash you go. Let's get the monitor back up. He just ripped it again? I don't think I ripped it. And this goes this way around. These black connectors are evil. They're impossible to get in properly. And I think we did it. So let's bring in one panel. And put it the right way around. Rusty side up. Carefully plug our new and improved LVDS cable in. Come on. Let's not rip the other end as well. That would be a bad day. Come on. It's going to end with me just dropping the panel and cracking it. Come on, in you go. Oh no, I put this in upside down. I'm an idiot. Great, now we need to disconnect that again. This is so brittle. Oh god. There we go. I'm pretty sure that's the right way around. Come on, in you go. In you go. This was polarised? I'm pretty sure this isn't. It is polarised. So it was the right way. What? How am I screwing this up? How am I doing this wrong? How am I doing this wrong? This goes that way around. Let's start on this end. Like so. And go to this end. And you guys are getting the best view right now, I can see. Come on. These black connectors are truly evil, because if you get them ever so slightly not straight, you'll bend all the pins. I think I've installed this upside down. Yeah, I've installed the black connector upside down, so we need to redo that. No worries. LVDS connectors, they are no fun. Come on. Please. So we will need to undo this, flip it around. Use our lovely, now incredibly broken tweezers to achieve that. I was so close to dropping my tweezers onto a panel there. That would have cracked it and we'd be done. So we'll just flip that around. Now what? We need to flip this around as well. Like so. That's on the right. And this guy. Thank you for your €2 craft for cube, but I can't be bothered waiting for one to arrive. It takes weeks to get a new cable. And the carbon footprint of that new cable is going to be horrible since it has to be shipped from far, far away. But there we go. Electron Ash says low voltage differential sausage. I agree. I'm gonna remember that. What's wrong with my TV? There was a bad connection in the low voltage differential sausage wire. But it's alright, we fixed it now. The skin was all broken. The low voltage what? Low voltage differential sausage, never heard of that. Come on. There we go. No, that's not in properly. Ah. Snap. Okay. Take N, please work. You evil black connector, go in there. And we'll reinstall the evil LED connector. There. This truly is evidence that there is no God. Come on. You can do it. In you go. In you go. Good girl. Okay. This is now going to work. This is now going to work. Power supply coming in. Lights out. Come on, baby. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Let us turn this light off. Video light auto. Video light off. And get some picture. I think we have a winner. Come on, Scaly, you're not dead. Hey, there we go. Let's just do that and screen resolution, extend these displays, apply. Ah, beautiful. That is not showing any issues at all. That is looking beautiful. That is looking absolutely fine. Let's give you guys a bit more exposure. That is looking absolutely fine. Let's get the front panel on there and have a dig through the menu. So, apologies to all of those expecting horrible failure. We got something far better. Horrible success. With bodgy, dodgy, awful display cable. So what's this guy got to say? Menu. I think these guys actually let you see. I think they have an hour counter. Information. Wow. Backlight hours 1906. This thing's almost new. 2000 hours, that's very good. that's excellent. Factory reset. Yeah, let's get rid of all horrible color profiles. Few times have we had as fitting a smug Anna. It's rather dark though. I would expect this to be brighter. For being a cheap TN and all, it's not very impressive. Not very impressive at all. But it's fine. What's the chat got to say? No, that's not my chat. Where's my chat? I'm confused. Where's my chat? Where's my chat? Smile, you're live. Congrats, well done. Sandpaper failed. I want to be on the monitor, lol. Good job, you're on the monitor. I want that monitor as a novelty item. I will admit it was good. The way it was, it looked excellent. Can I have it? You can buy it, but it's not going to be worth shipping. Excellent. So now we just need to reassemble this. Oh, we are entirely out of focus. Censorship. Now let's get rid of this flat black thing, and I'm sure we'll be back. Excellent. We have succeeded. One bad diode, one bad wire from when this thing got tossed in the dumpster. Now all we need to do is find a couple of screws, put it back together. We'll be good to go. I think I might... I was this close to ripping the LED connector. Very, very close to ripping that. So let's disconnect the LVDS connector once again, because we still need to reassemble this thing. Okay. Screws, where are? So this one's already attached, but we need to find some power supply screws of suitable sizes. Oof. Where's my chat? Did you cut the legs of a diode? I don't care, because it's going to be... there's nothing above it to be touched, really, so it doesn't matter. It's not going to touch anything. They're just sticking out like 4 millimeters anyway. So we need some M3 screws of suitable nature. That looks good. Touch the big cap just to make sure it's safely discharged. No, I'm not Big Clive. I'm not a masochist. Oh, while the legs of the diodes don't matter, what does matter is that I've still got the old diodes just lying underneath the power supply. We don't need that in order for the monitor to work. There we go. Screwing around. One, two. This thing was a bit more work than I really wanted it to be. Generally, I don't put this much effort into like cheap TN monitors because they are so cheap. Like this thing is like $100 new. At a normal workshop repair rate, we've been going for like 2.5 hours or something. That would be well over $100. That would be well more than what this thing would cost if I were to buy a new one. So this simple repair is not economically viable. Would you imagine? Not economically viable. But to me, of course, who just got this thing for free out of the trash, it is viable because I don't have the initial expenditure of having to have purchased the monitor. But at a reasonable shop rate, this is, you know, it's a €120 monitor now. Which is silly, because it's old, not very worn out, but still used, it's not new. It's not at all worth the time we put into it. Which is silly. Silly indeed. Yeah. I do recommend getting like some of these VGA screw nut drivers. They are very, very handy. Way better than dicking around with your pliers. Someone says simple in quotes. This was a very simple repair. Very simple repair. Let's put this panel in. Let's not ruin it. Is everything assembled? Yeah, I think everything's assembled well enough. If it isn't assembled, then I'm just not going to care. As long as it works, I don't care. Come on. Ah, evil LVDS connector. Evil, evil devil spawn. Ah. And evil, evil LED backlight connector. In you go. Ugh. Yuck. God, that feels so wrong. The most impressive thing though is someone like just took this thing apart very haphazardly. They just ripped it to shreds and threw it in a dumpster. No care taken whatsoever. And it still survived. Like the LCD panel, which is entirely out of focus. Hello. Focus. This LCD panel was literally just thrown into a dumpster, then they threw a bunch of printers on top of it, and it still survived. It's not cracked. Comparing that to LCD panels from like almost 10 years ago, those would have been destroyed. So it's amazing how far LCD panel technology has gone in such a short time when it comes to durability. Because really modern LCDs are so much more durable than the old ones. Just incredibly much so. Band Big Games Room asks, can I have this monitor, please? You can buy it and pay shipping for it. I'll say sell it relatively cheaply, send me an email, but it's not going to be worth shipping to wherever you might be. And I'm not going to give it away for free, because I can sell it, and I do have an application for it, so I'm sorry. You've never repaired an OLED display, have you? No. I don't think I've ever sold any OLED displays around here. Lord Donso asks, anyone here a furry? Why are you asking such questions in my chat? This thing is really dirty. Really dirty and horrible. Got spots all over. Spots all over. Just need to rub them a bit more. This monitor has clearly belonged to a monitor spitter. The kind of person who just kind of gets angry and shouts at the monitor or speaks very harshly at it because it's full of like ingrown spit spots. He doesn't know what FF means. Indeed he doesn't. How much would shipping be to the UK? The answer is more than it would be for you to buy a comparable monitor locally. There we go. How did you know that I'm shouting at my monitor right now? I don't, but if you are, I really recommend you clean it up because spit spots on monitor kind of they fester, and leave them long enough and they're never gonna go away. Just a hot tip. You'll end up with like horrible spots everywhere. And your monitor will look disgusting. And people will think you're a disgusting person. Paper towel. Ouch, cries Soft Cloth. Nothing wrong with paper towel. This is the cheapest paper I can get my hands on. There is nothing wrong. It's a bit linty, but you can just blow the lint away. It doesn't harm the panel, it doesn't cause any kind of damage at all. You don't need a microfiber cloth to clean your monitor. You do not. Don't fall for the placebo. There we go. Right. That should be a reasonably clean frame. Have to remember to plug that in. Else we're going to be annoyed in 2 minutes. Click. You know what? Before we snap this together, I'm going to see if there's an option to turn the LED off, because it's incredibly blue and incredibly bright. And if there is no option to turn it off, then I'm going to take some precautions. So where's my signal source? That's my signal source. Why are you flickering and being horrible? This thing is not working right. It's drawing a bunch of power and not doing anything. What's going on? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Why are you not working? You should be working. Ugh. This has failed somehow. How has this failed? I am now confused. That's annoying. What's gone wrong? What has gone wrong? Well, no, people in the chat talking about the diodes. We have two here. It's not because we've got a diode loose inside. Let's just try again. It draws a bunch of power, lights the LED for a sec, then turns off. Is it the same if we run on the lab power supply? Does it have an issue running off of 230 volts? Is that what's going on? Well, that's weird. It works on the lab power supply. It doesn't work on 230. What? That's confusing. That's very confusing. Huh. That is very confusing indeed. What could cause that? Could be a bad mains cap, but I think I tested that. Yeah, I did test that. My power cord seems fine. It starts and stops and starts and stops and starts and stops. What happens if I put signal in it? I don't think it's going to do anything. No. It's just going to tick mode. That's weird. Okay. That's very weird. I guess we're taking the panel out again. What an oddity. What an oddity. So we're ripping all of it. Jeez. Oh, this thing's really becoming a nightmare now. Ugh, yuck. Good thing we figured that out before we snapped it back together, but... Huh. People are talking about the rectifier. I don't think this looks like a rectifier issue. Because when you have a bad rectifier, it usually results in a blown mains fuse because the diodes prefer to short out over what's the word? Going open. And 27 volts in the mains cap. Let's just kill that. Let's test the rectifier. It could be, if we have an open diode, it could be running not right. But I do think it's going to be fine. The positive side, that's fine. That's fine. I'm fine, I'm fine. Negative side. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. And fine and fine. Yeah. Nothing wrong with the rectifier. That is confusing. What could cause that? We know the caps are good. I'm stumped. Low voltage differential sausage has gone soft. Yes, indeed. We have bad voltage on some rectifier? No? that is majorly confusing, but let's see what voltage we get in the primary side cap while running on 230. Yeah, let's turn it on. Oh, shouldn't be measuring AC. Something is drawing a bunch of current, that's for sure. Because we're seeing quite big spikes there. And it's in tick mode. Let's have a diode shorted out again. Our diode has shorted out. Our diode is on fire. Perhaps it wasn't such a good option. Our brand new diode, our brand new used diode out of the power supply is dead. It's dead, Jim. Or we're seeing a short on across its rail, but this is getting hot. Okay, let's investigate. Let's go back to the ESR resistance meter. Let's see. Ta-da! Where is the meter? Where are my probes? Oh man, this is so cluttered. My probes are... There's one. Where's the other? There's the other. So... our resistance across here is... Okay. We probably have a voltage across that cap. Now we probably have ground coming in through the power lead, so I'm going to disconnect that. One of my tweezers to short this out. Yeah, there was a bit of voltage there. Let's redo our measurement. $90 ohms. Huh. 90 ohms, that doesn't look shorted at all. Perhaps we were getting an erroneous reading because there was voltage up. Because there was voltage there. But there's definitely something in the backlight circuit drawing a bunch of current. That's not looking sane at all. Oh, that seems to be charging up just fine. But I think this diode is measuring really weird, like 0.05 volts. It seems to be blocking. That's weird. Someone in the chat says which part is getting warm. The diode is getting warm. So it's behaving as if there's an overload condition on the backlight circuit, even though the backlight isn't even connected. Perhaps we've been seeing that issue all the time, except it's not been apparent while we've been running it on lead power supply. Let's give it another go. Oh bloody hell, it's 2:30 in the morning already. What is our 15 volt? Tick, 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 tick. 16, 0, 16, 0. And this is going on fire. That's annoying. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. Could be that this perhaps we took the wrong diode and this one's going into Avalanche. I'm thinking the issue might be that we just got the wrong diode. A diode that's not suitably good for the application. Someone's correctly pointing out that the issue should be consistent between AC and DC from a power supply if it's the diode, and I agree. But the diode is the primary suspect, since it's not entirely known how suitable a replacement part it is. It does seem to run fine. Off of a DC. Let's see. Yeah. It's just drawing 50 milliamps. What do we have over our output caps? Yeah. We get a boosted voltage. There probably is something further wrong on the primary side of this. But I have no idea what. And it's 2:30 in the morning, so I think I'm going to give up for the evening unless the chat has something particularly enlightening to say. PSU shutting down is often the backlight drawing too much current. Yes, but the issue is that it's only shutting down on 230 volts. Is the monitor worth this much trouble? No, it's not. I love this stream, that's excellent. Maybe it needs more than 60 volts reverse, and that's the reason the original diode failed. Could be. I'm thinking I should probably just try and swap the diode, since that is getting hot and it's measuring weird. And just put like a really high voltage one on there. Because we need to consider when it's running over 230, if there's going to be stronger pulses going into the transformer, there's going to be more back EMF and all kind of gubbins going on. So we could be seeing a voltage across this diode which is high enough for it to go into Avalanche and start conducting the wrong way. And that's just going to cause all kinds of issues. Shutting down with 230 volts because the SMPS will have a bit extra current capacity on the secondary side, so it's not quite reaching the current limit with a shorted diode when using the DC supply. That is not the case because it is not drawing excess current on DC, it's just drawing 50 milliamps. It's drawing way more on 230. What about the primary AC caps? They would pass DC through them? What? I bet if you replace it with a Schottky it will work fine. I'm pretty sure this is a Schottky. It's possible that the diode is heat damage from the iron directly to the tab. That is extremely unlikely. What is the lower voltage DC being used? Johnny Jacob correctly states 150 volts. So, whatever. I'm gonna drop this for tonight. Perhaps we'll revisit it, or I'll just grumpily fix it tomorrow without a stream. But for the time being, I'm just gonna say goodbye to you guys. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you to, let's see, the Kung Fu Robber, Alex Dobrev, and Craft4Cube for donating some money. That was very kind of you. So, you guys take care, and I'll be seeing you around.